Hey now, good morning, happy Monday. VSW staff clients and our friends joining us for Film Scoring Monday, where I have to explain the whole thing again. Please, I'd love more participation. This is very great exercise. This is when we look at a movie and I take out the music. You guys look on Spotify or YouTube and or you go through your old cassettes and you pick a score that could work just as well, sometimes even better. Some of these scores I've seen over the last few years could totally work just as good as the ones we've gone through the whole, a plethora of movies, of classic movies, of noir movies, of fantasy, of best pictures. I'm really proud of you guys. And it's also a way to incorporate film history, which is part of us artists that we should know about, especially actors, and a lot of you guys are actors, so this is important stuff to know. So Down Three Dark Streets was what we looked at last week, and you guys did a great job with the Hollywood sign, the exciting climactic scene under the Hollywood sign. We're going to keep it exciting, but more in the fantasy realm. So today, we'll be looking at the 1984 film NeverEnding Story. So this was the most expensive film ever made outside the US or the Soviet Union, directed by Wolfgang Petersen, German film director, producer, screenwriter, made a ton of great action films, In the Line of Fire, The Perfect Storm, Air Force One, and this kind of made his bones with Das Boot, with submarine war, World War II movie. In 1981, and so NeverEnding Story is this like kids book, right? It was based on a NeverEnding Story by Michael Ende, who sold it for $50,000 and then tried to sue and get it back because Wolfgang kind of took off with this idea, and it was an expensive movie. It cost $60 million to make. This is 1983. They film it in Germany, but it makes $100 million. So this comes out in 1984. We've gone back to this year a lot. I mean, Amadeus we did a few weeks ago. That comes out in 1984. We also get more kid-like movies because we get Karate Kid in 1984. We get Gremlins. We get this movie. So remember, like New Hollywood in the 60s, Bonnie and Clyde. Those were, Chinatown in the 70s. Those were movies for adults. And then when Star Wars came, we had Jaws and Star Wars. We had blockbuster movies. And then by the 80s, we're getting a little bit more, movies for families, for kids, for teenagers. So it's interesting to see that progression because there's a huge market, right? I mean, George Lucas said, if you can tap into the heart of a 10-year-old girl, you can make $1 billion in this business, and it's true. So we're progressing from the 80s. We're doing more adventure-like movies, fantasy adventure, for better or worse. And then Terminator comes out. That's going to change the game too. All right, so NeverEnding Story. I mean, what is this? Is this a kid's story? I mean, no. It's Bastian is this cute little kid, and he steals this book. I mean, he wants the bookstore owner wants him to steal it. He wants to ignite his imagination. A lot of imagination imagination's a key theme in this. And it's a magical book, and so he skips class and goes up into the attic and opens up this book where this whole magical universe comes to life, and this land, Fantasia, he's reading about it. So the whole movie, sort of after that scene takes place, you're seeing the book that he's reading. So he reads about a young warrior, Atreyu, and he has to stop the Nothing. What is the Nothing? The Nothing is this huge dark force taking over Fantasia. And remember, a hole is something. This was nothing.
Nothing was there anymore. Not even a dried up lake.
A hole?
A hole would be something. No, it was nothing.
Yeah, try thinking about that thought when you go to bed tonight. That's terrifying, right? So it's this nothing's eradicating their whole world.
I swear it wasn't me.
No.
The princess needs Bastian's help. So she's in the book, but she reaches out from the book. So she says, maybe what it would save us all is if you bring Fantasia back using your imagination. Music, I mean, this was an iconic score or, theme song.
Look at what you see.
Composed by Giorgio Moroder. He is credited as kind of the father of disco. That's what they say. That's what I'm reading. Euro disco, so European disco, right? We saw disco with Saturday Night Fever, and then that's Limahl who's singing the vocals. Forgive my pronunciation on some of these names, and just because we've been doing advanced stuff, chord-wise, what does this sound like? Let's just listen to the song. Very few chords in this, but we're going to have the dominant going back to the tonic. So it's in the key of C, and it goes from C to G to F. So the 1, 5, 4, then to A minor to G, and then G gets you back to the tonic. G, the dominant, gets you back to the C. So let's just listen, and then I'll point out the chord symbols.
Turn around, look at what you see. In her face, the mirror of your dream.
Interesting thing that it kind of does is that it modulates to E flat. So then it's E flat, C minor, A flat to B flat. So that's the theme song. But the scene, the music that we're going to take a look at soon was the film score, which is a really fun electronic score. It was composed by Klaus Doldinger, and he's a saxophonist, German saxophonist from the jazz group Passport. Did a lot of jazz and did a lot of film music with Wolfgang Petersen. So the scene that we're going to look at is the very last scene, and this is when the Empress, this Princess Empress, says that Bastian can bring back Fantasia and get this world back using his imagination. So what he does is there's Falkor, who's this dog, a dragon dog. He rides him. So Bastian goes from reality into the book. So he recreates Fantasia by riding on Falkor, and then we're seeing him see all of the characters and everything that he just read about. So he's actually experiencing the book in reality. It's a very creative scene. So let's take a look at that scene.
Falkor's even more beautiful than I thought!
Like it?
Falkor is wonderful! Falkor is like the nothing never was!
So that song is by Klaus Doldinger. What does it sound like? What's the melody? Strings, right? It's this big orchestral, almost romantic, but it's got a drive, right? It's got synthesizers. It's also got the rhythm of electronic beats going on. So he's got electronic beats, rhythm going on, and then this kind of very nice melodic stuff played by the strings. Beautiful, imaginative piece. Why don't we take a look at just the scene without any music? So let's keep the drive. Let's make sure it's got momentum and energy to it, and perhaps some imagination. This is not a scary score. This is not an intimate score. This is something of this has momentum and imagination to it, and some lightness to it too. But it has to have that pulsating rhythm. Let's not do any words just for this scene. But we've done kind of semi-fantasy epic scores, so we want to keep it into the realm of that, because this is the last scene of the movie, and this is a fantasy kid movie. So think about some ideas, send them to me, see what you think. This is a lot of fun sharing with you an important movie. I think Stranger Things did it a few seasons ago or something, so they kind of brought it back to life, the song at least. But it's a little classic of a movie. Okay, so get it to me by tomorrow. Have a great week planned for you guys, a lot of ideas, and see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.